Have you heard of the wonderful one-horse Shay that was built in such a logical way it ran 100 years to a day, and then of a sudden it... but stay. I'll tell you what happened without delay, scaring the parson into fits, frightening people out of their wits. Have you ever heard of that, I say? 1755. Georgius Secundus was then alive, snuffy old drone from the German hive. That was the year when Lisbon town saw the earth open up and gulp her down, and Braddock's army was done so brown, left without a scalp to its crown. It was on the terrible earthquake day that the Deacon finished the one-horse Shay. Now, in building of shays, I tell you what, there is always somewhere a weakest spot, in hub, tire, felloe, in spring or thill, in panel or crossbar, or floor or sill, in screw, bolt, thoroughbrace, lurking still. Find it somewhere you must and will, above or below, or within or without. And that's the reason, beyond a doubt, that a shay breaks down, but doesn't wear out. But the deacon swore, as deacons do, with an I do vummer, I tell you, he would build one shay to beat the town and the county and all the country round. It should be so built that it couldn't break down. For, said the deacon, it's mighty plain that the weakest place must stand the strain. And the way to fix it, as I maintain, is only just to make that place as strong as the rest. So, the deacon inquired of the village folk where he could find the strongest oak that couldn't be split nor bent nor broke. That was for spokes and floor and sills. He sent for lancewood to make the thills. The crossbars were ash from the straightest trees, the panels of whitewood that cuts like cheese but lasts like iron for things like these. The hubs of logs from the settlers' ellum, last of its timber, they couldn't sell 'em. Never an axe had seen their chips, and the wedges flew from between their lips. Their blunt ends frizzled like celery tips. Step and prop iron, bolt and screw, spring, tire, axle, and linchpin too. Steel of the finest, bright and blue. Thoroughbrace, bison skin, thick and wide. Boot top dasher from tough old hide, found in the pit when the tanner died. That was the way he put her through. There, said the deacon, now she'll do. Do? I tell you, I rather guess she was a wonder, and nothing less. Colts grew horses, beards turned gray, deacon and deaconess dropped away. Children and grandchildren, where were they? But there stood the stout old one-horse shay, as fresh as on Lisbon earthquake day. 1800, it came and found the deacon's masterpiece strong and sound. 1800 increased by 10, handsome carriage, they called it then. 1820 came, running as usual, much the same. 30 and 40 at last arrive, and then come 50 and 55. Little of all we value here wakes on the morn of its 100th year, without both feeling and looking queer. In fact, there's nothing that keeps its youth, so far as I know, but a tree and truth. This is a moral that runs at large. Take it. You're welcome. No extra charge. 1st of November, the earthquake day. There are traces of age in the one-horse shay, a general flavor of mild decay, but nothing local, as one may say. There couldn't be, for the deacon's art had made it so like in every part that there wasn't a chance for one to start. For the wheels were just as strong as the thills, and the floor was just as strong as the sills, and the panels just as strong as the floor, and the whippletree neither less nor more, and the back crossbar as strong as the fore, and spring and axle and hub encore, and yet as a whole, it is past a doubt, in another hour, it will be worn out. 1st of November, 55. This morning, the parson takes a drive. Now, small boys, get out of the way. Here comes the wonderful one-horse shay, drawn by a rat-tailed ewe-necked bay. "Hurry up," said the parson. Off went they. The parson was working his Sunday's text, had got to fifthly and stopped. perplexed at what the Moses was coming next. All at once the horse stood still, close by the meeting house on the hill. First a shiver, and then a thrill. Then something decidedly like a spill, and the parson was sitting upon a rock at 9:30 by the meeting house clock, just the hour of the earthquake shock. What do you think the parson found when he got up and stared around? The poor old Shay in a heap or mound, as if it had been to the mill and ground. You see, of course, if you're not a dunce, how it went to pieces all at once, and nothing first, just as bubbles do when they burst. End of the wonderful one-hoss Shay. Logic is logic. That's all I say.